Okay, hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Thank you all so much for being here. My name is Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. Thank you for being here. Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Today we're going to be talking about Biden's Parole in Place program, and specifically we're asking the question, hey, is it better, is it more advantageous to file for this Biden Parole in Place program, or is it better instead to file a consular processing, do the consular process? All right, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, you might be eligible for both of those potential options. Okay, so that's what we'll be talking about today. So welcome, thank you all so much for being here. If you're like chatting with me right now, tell me where you are. Like, put in the chat, like where in the country, where in the world are you watching from? I'd love to know that. And as I'm talking, if you have questions, hey, please, submit your questions. I'll do my best to answer those here live. Okay, so people are tuning in right now on TikTok and Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here. Remember, the Empowered Immigrant Live is here to train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to make the most out of immigration law and to make the most out of their lives. All right. So today we're talking about the Biden Parole in Place program for spouses of U.S. citizens, and specifically, we're asking this question, right? If I'm the spouse of a U.S. citizen, should I apply for this, parole in place, or should I instead do a consular process? And so we'll talk about that, and so welcome. Thank you all, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate it. My question, as always, is, hey, do you want to get a green card this year? Do you want to maybe apply for citizenship this year? Do you want to maybe apply for a visa or apply for some kind of change to your immigration status this year? Do you want to at least see what options are available for you this year? Because if so, it's like, hey, this year's almost, it's ending, right? We're in August already. We're more than halfway, well more than halfway through the year. And it's like, if you want to do something about your immigration situation, go for it, right? Go for it. Do it. Take action. And my firm is on a mission to win 10,000 cases by 2035. We'd love for your case to be one of them. If that makes sense for you, we're just a phone call away. Please feel free to reach out. Okay? So we've got some news, and there's news happening. I'm like watching to receive, and we'll talk about the regulations for this Parole in Place program. But there's news related to immigration happening all the time right now. And so, for example, as everybody's aware, Kamala Harris has picked her vice president, Tim Walz of Minnesota. So what is Tim Walz's stance on immigration? Well, it's a good question. It's a good question. We know that he signed into law a state bill in Minnesota that allowed undocumented immigrants in his state to obtain driver's licenses. Okay, that's a good sign. We know that he supported many of Biden's border initiatives, and he expressed support for the Dreamers and for DACA recipients. And we know that he criticized Trump's border wall proposals and other Trump actions on immigration. All of that is a good sign, okay? And it's like we're monitoring, right? Because there is not a single place where the Harris and now Walz potential administration, there's not a single place where they've like documented what their platform would be for immigration. And that's something that I'm monitoring, my office is monitoring. And so as we get more information about that, we'll be sharing additional news, additional updates, and things like that. If you want to see that, the best way to do that is to take a second here, go to our channel in YouTube, hit the subscribe button, right? and also hit the notifications bell. And then you can be notified whenever we upload additional videos with additional information, with additional news to our YouTube channel so that you can stay informed. Got it? So that's that. There's some other news, right? You may have seen the Biden administration announced a pause, right? It announced a pause on Friday of last week to the parole programs for Haiti, Nicaragua, Cuba, and Venezuela that have been in place all year. All right? And now that's important to know when we're talking about this new parole in place program, because the fear that I have and that other people have is, well, if they pause that parole program, might they also pause this parole program? And we don't know, right? Right now, the latest announcements from the government is that we are moving forward with the parole in place program for spouses of U.S. citizens, and that the government will start accepting those applications on August 19th. All right? I'm filming this on August 8th, ladies and gentlemen. So we're talking 11 days from now, we'll be submitting applications to the U.S. government for parole in place for the spouses of U.S. citizens, which is exciting, and a lot could happen in the next 11 days, and so we got to be in communication about that. Okay. So, for example, August 19th is right around the corner. Yet there are no regulations published. We don't know, right? We don't know even where to send these requests. We don't know what forms to fill out. We don't know what the filing fees will be. We don't know any of those details yet, and that's a problem, all right? And so in order for this program to work, they've got to release the regulations. I'm anticipating that those regulations come out possibly today, possibly tomorrow, like very, very soon. And as soon as they come out, I'll be sharing videos about that. We'll explain, do a training about precisely what those regulations are saying and what the application process is and all that good stuff that people have been waiting for, that I've been waiting for, that advocates have been waiting for. And so, again, the best way to see at least my take on those is to subscribe to our channels and to attend our events, etc., but especially to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Okay? So remember, this parole in place, what is this really saying? All right? What this is saying is you can apply for a parole document, all right, a legal document with a work permit valid for 3 years that gives you the ability to apply for a green card through your marriage if 5 things are true as of June 17th, 2024. 5 things are true as of June 17th, 2024. What are those 5 things? Who knows? Who's got them? All right? Those 5 things are, I will go through them. All right? First, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, all right, not a green card holder, not, you're not a fiancé as of June 17, 2024. You had to have been married legally as of June 17th of 2024 to a U.S. citizen. That's requirement number 1. Requirement number 2, you must have 10 years of continuous physical presence in the United States. How many years? 10 years. As of what date? June 17th of 2024. So when must you have arrived into the U.S. in order to have that be true? You must have arrived into the U.S. before June 17th of 2014, right? 2014, so that you have 10 years before June 17th of 2024 in the U.S., okay? Requirement number 3 is you cannot have been lawfully inspected, admitted, or paroled into the country. If you arrived on a visa, if you arrived lawfully with inspection and admission, or parole originally, then you don't need this program. Theoretically, you can adjust status already, so you don't need to do this other step of getting a parole. Okay? All right? That's requirement number 3. Requirement number 4 is you cannot be a threat to national security, public safety, and you cannot have disqualifying criminal history. All right? Well, what does disqualifying criminal history mean? We don't know yet. All right? That should be clarified in the regulations. All right? But that's what the initial announcements have said. Finally, requirement number 5 is you must merit a favorable exercise of discretion. Okay, parole is a discretionary benefit, and so you gotta be aware of that. Those are the 5 requirements. Hope that that's clear. So just so that people are aware of it, the statistics say that there's 500,000 people that meet those requirements. There's 500,000 people, 500,000 people approximately in the United States who are eligible for this. And I'm hoping to help as many of those people as I possibly can. My firm is ready to start taking those cases and to help them. There's also about 50,000 or so of their children, children of people who are eligible and meet those 5 criteria, and who are under 21, can also be included. They estimate 50,000 people are in that situation. Okay? So that's that. So then that's the basics, right? So now the question to consider today, right, on our live session is, okay, should I consular process or should I do this parole in place program? All right? Should I do the parole in place? Should I consular process? Well, if you're eligible for both, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, right, and you weren't inspected and admitted or paroled, and you're thinking of doing one or the other, right? It's like if you're 100% eligible for both processes, my best advice is do parole in place. Okay? And I want to explain that, right? Because if you're eligible for parole in place, and if this program actually works, if it actually, lots of things could come up. It could be challenged by it could be challenged by Republicans. It could be turned over in court. There's lots of things that could happen. But if it works, parole in place, in theory, is better because it allows you to adjust status. Adjusting status means you don't have to leave the country. You can get a green card here in the U.S. That's so much better because it reduces the risk, it reduces the cost, it reduces the delay, it allows you to renew and apply for and renew work permits during the process. It allows you to have a lawyer go with you to your adjustment of status interview. It is a million times better than doing this through the consulate. Okay? The reason it avoids costs and it avoids delays is because you don't have to do an I-601A waiver. All right? You avoid the waiver process. Okay? Which that's like 4 years of a delay that you'd have to do in the consular process if you're going through that process. And now my office has like 600 I-601A waivers pending right now. All right, that we filed over the years. They take 4 years to adjudicate. So it's like, oh my gosh, that's a crazy. It's a crazy process. If you can avoid that whole thing, then that's awesome. Right? Think about that. That's thousands of dollars. That's 4 years of delays that you could avoid by doing this parole in place program. Okay? And so, I wanted to clarify that. That's my position. What's the process? How do you even do this thing? Right now, there is no process, right? Because right now, there are no regulations. If you tried to fill out an application for this, there's no form to even fill it out on, and they'll reject it. They'll reject it. We don't even know what the filing fees are. We don't know where to submit this type of request. So don't do it yet, all right? If you've got some notario in your neighborhood or something that's wanting to help you do this process, like, just be clear, like, they can't do this process yet. Okay? They can't. And so don't fall for stuff like that. It doesn't, there's no actual process right now. But it's possible that there will be by tomorrow. Okay? I mean, it's possible that at least the regulations will come out today, tomorrow, soon, and they're supposed to start accepting these cases starting August 19th. All right? The problems to anticipate, of course, is that this whole thing could face legal challenges. Like, there could be a lawsuit filed saying that this program's illegal, right? Like we saw with DACA, like we saw with other presidential initiatives, all right? So yes, it could face legal challenges in court. We can anticipate that. And, of course, this is dependent on politics, okay? So we got to see who wins the election in November. Because you could imagine applying for this parole process, and then some new president or some former president is in the White House come January, and they just undo it. Okay? And so that's something you got to be mindful of, right? The November election could undo it. And there's going to be a group of people, possibly, right, that applies for this thing and potentially gets it approved before January, and then is applying for their green card when the next president takes the White House. And we're going to see how the government, adjudicates those cases, right? In my opinion, if you've won the parole, then that's a huge benefit for your future application for a green card, even if it's under a different administration, right? The law allows people to adjust status if you've been inspected, admitted, or paroled into the country. And so if you've got that parole approval, even under the current administration, I think you would have a very strong case to win an adjustment case, even under a different administration. Things you want to think about, all right? Now, if you're not eligible for this, what do? Right? A lot of people, right? There's 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States. 500,000 people will be eligible for this, which means 10 plus million people just can't do this. And so if you're in that situation, I am sorry. My heart goes out to you. And let's talk it through, right? Maybe there's something else we could do. U visas, asylum cases, waiver cases, consular cases, court-based cases, cancellation of removal, etc. Like, don't give up just because you're not eligible for this. As always, there are more ways than one to fix an immigration situation. Like, let's talk it through. That's what lawyers are here for. Okay? So, best advice right now is let's be clear about your situation. Let's start with a consultation. Let's start at least gathering the proof of your 10 years of continuous physical presence in the U.S., all right? Sometimes we'll want to request your FOIAs, your immigration records, and there's no harm in doing those preliminary things right now while we're still waiting for the regulations to be released, okay? So that's what I got for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. If you have questions, submit them. Christopher Carbajal, thank you so much, as always, for being here. I see you say hello. Keyboards88, I see you there. You say more than 120 days have passed since your green card interview. You still don't have a decision. What should you do next? Okay, well, there are things that you could do. I recommend you watch our videos on what to do when your cases are delayed, all right? Because what you could start with is the inquiry process. You could potentially do an ombudsman request, and you could potentially sue the government because of their delay. All right, we call this a mandamus case, and I talked about those. I've got like maybe 6 or 7 different videos on the topic of mandamus, and delay processes, like what to do if your case is delayed. And so, if you want help going through that, hey, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to help. All right? We'd love to help. So, yeah. And sometimes you want to really think through, like, is there something that you can think of that might have caused the delay, right? Is there, I don't know, have you ever been arrested? Is there some reason for the delay? But hey, we can talk all that through in a consultation and get to the bottom of those things. Okay? Awesome. The chat on TikTok is enormous. Thanks to everybody joining me on TikTok. Virginia, Alexander, Zuri, Francisco. Thanks to each of you here on TikTok. Everybody. There's more people than I can see. Manuel, Beauty, Nature, Emmanuel on Instagram. Everybody on Instagram, thank you all so much. Everybody on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. LinkedIn, Facebook, thank you all so much for being here. I can't see everybody all simultaneously, but thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. I like to give everybody an empowerment tip, okay? My empowerment tip, I'll keep it short and sweet. I often talk about goals, all right? Goals are, I'm very goal-driven, right? I put my result I want, put my outcome I want, put my goal that I'm after every year, every quarter, every month, every week, and every day. All right, so I'm very goal-driven, but there's another aspect to it that I want to share that I don't think I've ever really talked about, and what the concept is to set also an intention. All right, because here's the thing: the goal is what I plan to do. What do I plan to do? Like, what's my plan? All right, what are my actions? All right, my intention though is who I'm going to be. Right? Like, for example, today I'm going to be patient and calm. No matter what. Try me out. Somebody cuts me off in traffic. Hey, today I'm going to be patient and calm. Like, bring it on, world. It's like even if I don't hit all my goals because something gets in my way, this is how I'm going to be. Or you could say, hey, today I'm going to be bold and courageous. I'm going to try something new. Right? I'm going to bring some new energy to what I'm doing, right? That could be your intention. Or today I'm going to be a contribution to others, right? Or today I'm going to come to every conversation with gratitude, right? Whatever it is, like if you bring an intention, you have control over who you are being to a higher level and to a higher degree of certainty than you ever have control over what you're going to get done in any day, because inevitably life happens, right? But who you are and who you decide to be in the face of the different things that happen throughout the day brings you to a new level of power, okay? It's like another way to empower you to live the life you want. And that's what we're going for, right? That's the whole point of immigration law, right? To empower you to live the life you want. Right? So that you're not like scared of immigration coming and knocking down your door. No, I'm going to be bold and courageous and patient and calm and full of gratitude, even if, right? Or whatever it is. It's like you can take on whatever life faces you. Even if I have a car accident today, I'm going to be myself because I am who I am. And you can bring that. You can set your own intention for your own day to be the way you want to be. And you have that power, and I encourage you to use it. I use it, and it helps me, right? So anyway, just wanted to share that. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope this is useful. Hope it's helpful. If it is useful, if it is helpful, do me a quick favor. Go to our channel on YouTube. Type in Landerholm Immigration in YouTube and hit the subscribe button. It takes just a second. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notifications bell, right? So you can be notified when we upload additional videos with news, with updates, things of that nature, so that you can stay informed. That's all I got today. Thank you all so much for being here. My name's Otis Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. Make it a great day. Thanks a lot. Take care, and we'll see you on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye-bye.